Today, let's go over my manu progression guide, man. Everything you need to know for manu progression and how to build a phenomenal team with manu progression, man. It's a right way and it's definitely a wrong way to do things. It's a cheesy way and also a non-cheesy way. We're going to show y'all a little bit of everything that y'all need to know. If y'all enjoy this content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the ebook/membership down below. Also, check out the Twitch. Let's hop into the video. Manu progression, new to the game. And I absolutely love manu progression. I love the idea of it. Was it done perfect? Maybe not perfect. But one thing, you have to turn this slider down to 0 if y'all don't know already. If you don't turn it to 0, you won't receive in-season progression if you have manu progression on. You got to turn that down to 0. If you keep it at 25, your players will get no skill points other than your quarterbacks. Only your quarterbacks will get in-season progression. So keep that in mind. If you turn it higher, I don't know what to do. I wouldn't suggest turning it higher. Put it on 0, or if you don't want in-season progression, keep it on 25. So if you're manly progression players, I really believe you should recruit slightly different than a guy that got it on auto, because auto recruiting, they don't do, or auto progression, I should say, they don't do the best job of making guys well-rounded, especially like corners, even some old linemen. You really want to avoid certain archetypes. Now, if you have it on manu, you could make anyone good at damn near anything, especially with the skill cap, finesse, glitch. We're not going to cover that in this video. We covered it before, but the glitch allows you to make any player good at anything, and it's really cheating. So we're not going to cover it. But if you're, like I said, manually progressing players, I think your mindset should be able, or just to get the most athletic players. You could teach them how to run routes. You could teach them how to block. Teaching them how to be fast, teaching them how to be strong is always going to be more expensive, man. Power and quickness cost so much to upgrade for every single player, every single archetype. So I think you're better off just going after the guys that come in the fastest or maybe even the strongest and just teaching them some of the skill stuff, you know, teaching them how to juke, stuff like that. You know, for every position, it's an example. So for quarterback, I think your best bet for manu progression is honestly the gadget receiver and moving him over to quarterback. I dropped a whole video covering that, man. I really think that's one of the best and most fun quarterback builds in the game, is where you're able to get a running quarterback, the pure running quarterback, and he has actually good speed. The issue with the pure running quarterbacks in this game, when you just recruit them out of high school, their speed comes in horrible. I have no idea why, but the speed come in horrible. When you do the gadget finesse, or it's really not even a finesse, but when you do the gadget route, they come in with good speed and also good throw power. Two things that cost more to upgrade. And for you to upgrade the accuracies, it do start off low, but upgrading the accuracies is not going to be expensive whatsoever. So I love that for, you know, anyone that's using manu progression. I already dropped a video on it. Other than that, you know, dual threats, good option. They come in fast, and they also come in with good throw power, man. Two expensive ones. Your athlete dual threat is really going to be your best bet for manu progression. You can still go with the pocket passer, you know, the backfield threat if you want to, or the backfield creator, I should say, if you want to. Like I said, my two favorites in this game is going to be the athlete dual threat and then also the pocket passer for manu progression. Now, moving over to running back, I believe there's only one option here, in my opinion, man. You could go east-west playmaker. They do come in faster. You're not getting no trucking. You're just getting speed. They're kind of the elusive back from last year. Good running back. Good running back. I think your best bet if you have manu progression on is really the elusive bruiser. I don't think it's close. The best abilities for any running back, you get shifty on purple. Like, come on, man. Or not purple. You could get shifty on purple, but you're getting shifty. You're also getting some of these other trucking abilities, armbar. You're getting a combination of power and speed. And you could teach them the other stuff. I said those two things cost the most to upgrade. So if they could already start off in a good spot, that is the guy you want to prioritize, man. So I would definitely say, you know, elusive bruiser is one of the best running backs for manu progression. Receiver, in my opinion, is going to be Speedster, and Speedster I think is the #1 receiver by far. You know, whoever's your number 2, that's up to you. But number 1 is Speedster. They come in the fastest, and speed is the only thing that's, you know, expensive that you want to upgrade on a receiver. You don't really care about upgrading power. So if he's able to come in with 80 or 93 speed, that's good speed this year for a receiver. That really is. Good speed for a receiver is 93 now. But if he come in with 93, you only need to upgrade it maybe 1-2 times to maybe get that 96, 97. And that's all you really need this year for elite speed receiver. You're not getting that many 99 speed receivers or players compared to last year. So if that already starts off in a good spot, you could teach him the other stuff. You could teach him how to run routes and catch, as long as the skill cap's in a good place. So speedster, I think, is your way to go, man. Tight end, I think blocking or vertical threat, man. Vertical threat is probably the most fun tight end to use in the game. Is back. I would say vertical threat for manual progression. You could also go blocking if you would choose. Someone was saying gritty possession upgrades the best. Gritty possession is the best receiver in the game. A couple people's commenting that, man. I don't know what y'all see that I'm not seeing. First of all, receivers are so inflated, bro. Like, it's so many good receivers. If you're going to turn any XP slider down, it probably should be for receivers, because there's just so many that become so good. Look at, you got 3 receivers, obviously, is Ohio State, so they probably got some really good coaches for receivers. Your 3 best receivers all on one team, 99, 99, 96 overall. Hey, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. But let's find our first gritty possession receiver. And y'all was really trying to tell me they're the GOAT. 91 overall in that top right corner. 83 on the speed, man. I know. No, if that's your thing, fine. But please don't tell me this is the best receiving archetype in the game, man. Speed costs 12 to upgrade. That's not phenomenal. That's still expensive. You got to upgrade it like 4 times to get average speed, to get solid speed, man. Maybe the hands is cheaper to upgrade, but you could never upgrade catching traffic. You could only upgrade catching. So catching traffic could never be great. Route running, phenomenal. Very good route running. But it's like low speed, not really great hands. It's like he's supposed to be a gritty possession, but never could be a great catching traffic guy. Don't really make sense to me, man. Another gritty possession. It's the next best one. He's a 90 overall, 87 on the speed. Better. But same story, man. He's 6'1". It's not even like he's 6'5". But his skill cap's good spot. But for him to get to solid or even average speed, you got to upgrade it so much, and it costs so much to upgrade, man. I just think these are the worst out of all the receiving archetypes, man. It's a community that really thinks they're the best. No. All right, I'm done with my rant. My fault. I'm done with my rant. But gritty possession, if you want to go after him, do your thing. Do your thing. I'm not going to argue against you, man. O-line. Who's the best to go after for O-line if you're doing manual progression? I believe it's still going to be well-rounded. Well-rounded, man. Raw strength, I'm going to call them only strength. You know, their skill caps is really, or not the skill cap, excuse me, how expensive it is for them to upgrade is really, really bad, man. Obviously, the strength is going to be really good, but everything else just takes a while for them to, finally become well-rounded players. I would just avoid them, but it is possible to get a good raw strength lineman. It's possible. It's possible to get a good any player, any archetype in this game. It's possible. But more times than not, I think you're better off going with the agile and then also the well-rounded if you're doing manual progression. And that's for your whole entire offensive line, man. You go pass protector if you want. The good thing about going pass protector with manual progression, you could actually upgrade that strength and you could actually upgrade that run blocking and make them a well-rounded player. So that's the good part about, manual progression. Now, for the D-line, you got a bunch of different options. I believe the power rusher is your best for manual progression because they come in with solid power moves, solid finesse moves, and also okay block shedding. And you could just continue to upgrade all that stuff and make a super well-rounded player. You could make a guy with elite power moves and elite block shedding with manual progression. And that's great. The thing about, maybe a pure power guy, you can't upgrade the finesse moves. So he can only be a power rusher and he can only, be a block shed guy. So I like that for that reason. Edge setter, still just not my favorite. But with manual progression, you could actually upgrade some of the pass rush ability and make them a little bit more well-rounded. But my go-to is still going to be that power rusher. And D-tackle is going to be the same exact story, man. I like the power rusher. And then the pure power I also like a lot. The speed rusher even could play a role in manual progression because now you could just upgrade the block shedding. That's my biggest issue with these speed rushers. They come in as demons when it comes to that finesse moves. That finesse moves be elite. And especially going against interior offensive linemen that usually don't have great finesse blocking. They're usually more power blockers. So having that inside is great. So this is a sleeper pick, man. If you're manly progression and you just upgrade that block shedding to at least 80 where it's serviceable, yes, you're getting an absolute dog. And these speed rushers, they're going to get you sacks. They're 100% going to get you sacks. So manly progression actually benefit the speed rusher a lot. A ton, man. Now, when it comes to your linebackers in general, I think just going the fastest and the strongest is going to be my go-to, man. Like I said, getting the guys with the power and the speed, just because those are the most expensive, I think that's going to be your best bet every single time. So the athlete middle linebacker is always going to be my number one choice. Outside of that, signal caller, thumper, all these linebackers play a solid role, man, especially since you can make them well-rounded. But that athlete middle linebacker going to come in the fastest and also the strongest. And like I said, those are the things you want. Now, corner is where it gets interesting because my favorite corner for auto progression is probably field or boundary because they become well-rounded more often. Now, for manual progression, my favorite is zone or man, or bumper run is what it's called this year, man. They just come in the fastest. And now that you could just upgrade zone coverage and upgrade man coverage at will with manual progression, you don't have to worry about the CPU not upgrading them. You can make a well-rounded corner. You could go get a zone corner because he might come in with 96 speed and only upgrade the man. Now, ability-wise, you kind of be hurting yourself, but that's very well an option, man. That's very well an option. I also think the field corner has the best abilities in the game, so don't just completely rule them guys out. They will be slower. They will come in with slower speed initially, but guess what? You could develop it. So definitely consider the zone and man corners, especially if you manually progression, man. You could get a super well-rounded corner with elite speed. And safety, coverage specialists come in the fastest as well as the hybrid safety. So I would lean towards them. You could teach them the other stuff. Same concept. You could teach them how to tackle, how to cover. You can teach them the other stuff, man. It's tough to teach speed and power. So always prioritize them things, in my opinion, when it comes to manual progression, man, because you can do what you want with this manual progression. Now, when it comes to manual progression, what's better, motivator or talent developer? That's a real conversation, a real question. Without doing testing yet, I will test this. I tested it last year, and I really should reference that because 9 times out of 10, they didn't go out their way to change how big of a boost tier 3 is here compared to, talent developer. So I really should reference it, but we'll do another test this year and really find out which is better and why. But I would lean towards just motivator, tier 3 motivator, because it's easy to unlock. Talent developer, you got to have 2 first-round draft picks. That's tough. So we want to make sure we're getting this tier 3 motivator on as many positions as possible. It's super costly to upgrade stuff this year for one reason or another. And then also even master motivator, is it worth it? Maybe, maybe. Also got to do some testing on this. Tier 3 ability could be interesting. Increase all XP gains for DBs or whatever position group you choose. Unfortunately, that's a tier 3 ability, and you got to spend so many points, so many coins just to unlock tier 3. So I don't truly know if it's fully worth it compared to talent developer. I think I would rather have talent developer than master motivator, but let's make sure we're getting this tier 3 ability for everyone, because that's going to be a big time boost, man. That's a huge boost. And then you come in here and look at talent developer, and there's some good stuff in here, man. Bonus XP for quarterbacks when quarterbacks are drafted. So last year was like only within the first 3 rounds. Now they changed it. That player got to be drafted at all. I wish we get more of, maybe more details. Bonus XP. What is that? Is that bonus 100 XP or bonus 1,000? Bonus, we just left to guess. But it's some type bonus. We got to do some testing to figure out what that bonus actually is. Also, I like the tier 2 ability as well. Freshman and sophomore quarterbacks progress faster, so it just allows you to progress these younger guys faster. And I wonder if that has to do with in-season or training results. I'm assuming a combination of both. And then also the tier 3 where starting quarterbacks gain XP faster. And like I said, I wonder if that has to do with in-season goals or training results as well, man. Like the way the tier 3 version is worded, it makes me think that's only in-season stuff, man. It makes it seem like that don't have to do with training results because we'll gain XP faster, During training results, I feel like they're not gaining XP fast, if that makes sense. But I don't know. We haven't done testing and it's not fully explained. So let's at least maybe upgrade this for some positions just to see what it do here. And yeah, see what it do. So we have advanced to training results, and we'll kind of go through maybe some of my thought process when I'm upgrading players, and hopefully that'll help a few of you guys out. But the biggest thing when it comes to, this training results and having a bunch of guys get XP all at once is their development trait. That determines how much XP they get. The better the development trait, the more XP, the more coins, skill points they'll get to use, man. And it seems like a tremendous gap from star and elite to the bottom to impact and normal. It seems like a pretty big gap, man. I hope we have a couple examples here to show you guys, man. Hope we have a couple examples. So let's look here. Star. And obviously we upgraded tier 3 for our running back of talent developers. So we get an additional boost. And star development, 58. Impact 41, and obviously every single time you do this, it'll be a little bit random. These guys won't get the same exact skill points every single time. Just like last year, it's a tad bit random. We go down to the next guy, normal, 23. It's a huge gap, man. So this is why the development trait matters more than last year. Last year, it wasn't as directly impacted by development trait. It seemed like it was a little bit, but they went out their way to, in a deep dive for Dynasty, to mention development trait will have a bigger impact on how well a player progresses. Because last year, sometimes you get an elite development guy and he really don't ever turn out to be a good player. His overall really don't go up. This year, not really the case. Not really the case, man. They are going to get XP. Now, how you decide to use it is totally up to you. Now, let's look at another situation. Star guy, 56 skill points, man. The next guy, impact, 45. Normal, 27. And then you see here, another star guy, 70. It's a very, very big gap, man. This is only 1 year of progression, by the way, man. Only 1 year progression. Another example, impact tight end, 38. Star, 63. It's such a big gap, man. From impact to star, very, very big gap. Let me see here if we have any elite development guys. We might not have any on our roster. So unfortunately, we don't have any on our current roster, man. If you have an elite development guy, start him day one. I'm be honest. If you're like a 4-star, especially a 5-star, you need to start him day one or he might transfer out. I'm be honest. The transfer and the starting situation is still not great. They said they patched it literally last night on stream. I had a guy transfer out that, in my opinion, shouldn't have, because he was getting playing time. He transferred out for playing time, freshman. It happens. It happens, man. So I would just suggest, if you have elite development, because they are so valuable this year, they're going to be good. Last year, like, okay, elite development, cool. He should be good. This year, no, he will be a good player at one position or another, man. Star development, same concept. You can move these guys around. Now, how do I go about progressing my players, man? Progressing every single player, takes too long. Takes way too long. I like to progress the guys that either have potential, or maybe the starters, or maybe guys that's just not well-rounded, man. Maybe an old lineman like this, our old line is bad. I don't know what auto recruiting is doing for LSU. But we have an agile guy. He has 27 skill points, 77 strength. I will come in here and 100% upgrade his strength. I'm not about to have a starting left guard with 77 strength. That's not ideal. So I definitely go in and upgrade the strength. A guy like this, he is also not good. He is very bad at some things. So I would just make guys more well-rounded, man, across the board. Now, maybe this is where it gets a little bit cheesy, but if you have some young guys, it's not much benefits. Guys that's not going to start, it's really not much benefit to upgrade, just to upgrade them. Honestly, there's no benefit. Especially if he's not going to play. Like a guy like this, 65 overall, brand exposure is a C minus, or just a C. And, obviously we're LSU, so that's not going to change. He's not going to transfer out for brand exposure. So if we did upgrade him and increase his overall, his need will increase maybe to a B minus. And if you're a smaller team, that might reach the threshold and he might transfer out. So the thought process is, maybe don't upgrade the young guys, early on. Is it cheesy? I think so. I really do think so. But if you want to do it, by all means, do what you got to do. I will, progress my players here during this screen, and whoever I don't manually progress, I'm going to hold triangle to have the CPU auto progress them, because in real life it don't really happen like this. You don't have a guy just hold on to his skill points until the perfect time. You just don't really have that happen. Like a situation like this, we should start this guy. He got 63 skill points. He's a pure possession. Let's go ahead and manual progression, man. Let's go ahead. He has star development. Very good player here. Let's go ahead and look. So route running costs 2. Every time you upgrade, it's going to be more expensive. Hands cost 6. So a little bit more on the expensive end. That blocking is pretty bad. I think I want to get that better. Quickness, 86 speed, I'm fine with that for a tight end, man. But when I'm progressing players, I also want to understand what's going to make his overall better. A possession tight end, catching and route running, that's going to directly impact his overall. Those two things are going to make him a better overall player. And whether you want that player to get drafted or you don't want that player to get drafted yet, you might not want to upgrade these two things. Upgrading blocking, I know, is not going to push his overall as much as these first two. Now, also IQ, awareness, will also impact overall a lot. So if I want to inflate a guy overall because I want him to get drafted during his senior year, I'm going to just upgrade IQ and awareness, and he might not be the best player when it comes to stats, but his awareness will shoot up, and so will his overall, and now I got a player getting drafted, and it'll help my pro potential at that position. So it's a couple different ways to play this thing, man. Then you also got to factor in the abilities. What abilities do you want to get on this player, man? If we want sure hands, we got to upgrade our catching. But if we upgrade our catching, it's expensive, cost 6. So it's a balance, man. It's almost like a chess match. I definitely want to go the blocking route, man, and it's not going to affect his overall all that much, as his overall is going up some, but every single time we upgrade it, his overall is not moving, man. Let's get that blocking to a solid spot. I like that spot. Let's also upgrade the route running, because that's not in a great spot, and this is going to affect his overall a little bit more than the blocking, because this is his archetype, man. Hands, maybe upgrade that 1, get him up to 80 overall. Now, if we want to just max out his overall, well, we could kind of go this route, and it's a little bit cheap, but we could kind of just upgrade that awareness, and his overall going to shoot up for the cheap end and get him up to an 83 overall. Now, maybe even come to a little bit more blocking, maybe a little bit more on the, we could go a couple different ways. Let's go more on the route running. See if we get him up to an 85. Get him up to an 85 overall. And then you kind of just got a more well-rounded player. Maybe next go around, you upgrade the hands. But this is clearly a guy that's going to get drafted one day. Clearly. He's a sophomore and he's already at 85 overall. Now, next go around, maybe I don't upgrade him as much so he don't get drafted his, junior year. And he stays around for his senior year. It's a couple different ways, like I said, to do it. But to avoid maybe that finesse, personally, after I've done manually progressing all the players I'm going to progress, I'm holding triangle. But if y'all don't want to do that, I do want to show y'all, maybe how it could look, how you could cheese it, I suppose. And then you, like a guy like this, he got 58 skill points. He's an 81 overall. Let's say we want to boost the pro potential for our whole entire offensive line. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Now, unfortunately, we can't upgrade that IQ, so awareness will never be great, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get his overall up. Let's look at his archetype. He's an agile type guy. So come in here. Let's go ahead and upgrade the pass blocking. I'm not sure if we're able to get him up to, that 86 threshold that we're looking for, but let's certainly try, man. Let's certainly try. So maybe even upgrade agility a little bit. That should affect his overall. So upgrade it a couple times, get his overall up. And yeah, we'll be able to get him to that 88 threshold, that 87 threshold. And we have a couple more. Let's go agility one more time. Get him up to an 88. So I feel good about that. Now this is a player that's going to get drafted. Notice I avoid the power and the quickness. Those are going to be the expensive ones. And, it's always good to get the strength up. But when we have a senior and maybe we want a guy to get drafted, like I said, to help the pro potential, just getting him up to that threshold, 87, 88 overall is kind of threshold to get a player drafted. Especially for seniors, I'm looking for that, man. That pro potential is important, especially for a small program. Now, maybe for a guy like this, Krebs, who only got 25 skill points, we got a couple corners. He probably wouldn't play that much. Maybe I don't upgrade him and wait another year, let the skill points compound, and next year we'll have around 50 skill points to use. Obviously, it's a normal development guy. Now, if you do this with like a star development guy like this, say we don't want to start both these guys, and we don't want one of them to transfer out for one reason or another. Don't upgrade them. Like I said, is it cheesy? I think so. I think the game should put a mechanic in. Like once you advance past this week, it will auto upgrade you guys. I think that should be the mechanic instead of allowing you could literally stack guys' skill points for 4 seasons if you want to. You could literally do that, man. And like I said, I just don't know if that's right. So let's advance to next year. I'm going to show y'all an example of just stacking a guy's skill points for multiple seasons and how it could kind of get cheesy really quickly. So I simmed another year, and let's see, man. So some of these guys' skill points have accrued it for 2 years in a row. Now we got a guy like Kyle Cooks, who if we would have upgraded him last season, he would have got drafted. Now he's returning for a senior year with 108 skill points to use. Now we could get very, very cheesy with it, man. What do we want him to be good at? He's very good at zone coverage. I don't need him to have 99 zone. 88 is good enough. Let's get the man up a little bit. Let's get him a little bit more well-rounded so we can put him in, different positions on the defense. It looks like his run support is pretty low. Let's get that tackling maybe up to 80. And, yeah, get that tackling up. Work on that as well. Like that tackling where that's at. So, unfortunately for his awareness, it's no IQ category as he's a coverage specialist, but obviously the coverage affects his overall the most. So we want to upgrade that awareness. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but that's going to affect his overall. Let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's try to get this guy drafted pretty high. And notice his overall just jumped up twice. He just went from a 90 to a 92 because upgrading his zone and awareness. So that's the good part, though. It's going to be a little bit better when it comes to upgrading his overall. Let's see we get him to a 99 overall, man. And then you kind of see how cheesy this progression system could get, man. We get him to 99 overall. We ain't have to. You can get him more well-rounded. But just to show y'all how cheesy it really could get, man, when you save up the skill points year after year and don't allow some of these guys to get drafted that maybe would. I would suggest maybe not getting them 99 zone coverage and 99 awareness and maybe focusing on the abilities. But just to show y'all how cheesy it really could get, man. And you got a corner here, 141 skill points. He's only at 83 overall. Well, let's go in and show you how to get a guy as a first-round draft pick. What's his skill? He's another zone guy. So guess what? We're going to focus on, it's interesting because he's a zone corner, but his first category is man coverage. We're going to focus on that zone because that's going to affect his overall a little bit more than the man. The man will boost his overall, but the zone coverage, we get zone and awareness and play recognition. Now he's up to a 90? And now let's focus on that man coverage. And the man coverage, like I said, is not going to boost his overall nearly as much as that zone do, but slowly but surely his overall will start to go up. 92 overall, and maybe it's even beneficial to upgrade the hands a little bit. Maybe that'll affect his overall. It's cheaper, so maybe get the hands up a little bit, get that up to a solid spot. Didn't change his overall whatsoever. Let's go back to the man coverage, man. Get him up to a 93, and now we're looking at, a first-round draft pick. Now you're looking at a first-round draft pick with, oh my goodness, he looks insane. I mean, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? So this is why I usually have auto progression on. I ain't gonna lie, because it could get a little, I don't want to say cheesy, but it could get a little crazy. We talking about 99 man, 99 press, 99 change of direction, 96 zone, 91 speed, hands is solid, and obviously we didn't focus on abilities at all. But now we can. Now we can. Don't love these abilities on these guys either, by the way. But let's go ahead and get house call. Let's get all the abilities on bronze at least. And then we go ahead and, get this ability, I guess house call, get it on silver. And, I mean, now we can even get knockout at this point. Now we're looking at just a guy that's a 95 overall, first-round draft pick type player, one of the best corners in the league by just saving skill points year after year. And like I said, it's a little cheesy. Corner, another one. Another one, we got 125 skill points. I wouldn't suggest, or you probably should use all the skill points, but if you do, he's going to get drafted as a junior. If he's not going to start, you could save skill points another year, and you could get really, really crazy with it. Another guy, 116 skill points. We could use all at once, man. Having that star development trait really is game changing, man. The impact to star jump is really game changing. We have an impact guy here, Greg. We didn't upgrade him last year. Well, guess what? We need you to start, Greg. Let's come in here and upgrade him, and we'll just show you how far overall he could jump up. So unfortunately, he can never be fast, but he could do some of this other stuff really well. Let's upgrade that speed. Max speed is going to be 86 for Buddy unless you want to do the finesse. Let's get that catching up, man. Let's get that catching up. Teach him how to catch the ball. And also, what's his archetype? I think he's more of a route running archetype. Yeah, he's the route running archetype. So the route running is going to more affect his overall. So look, let's get that up. Get that overall up into where he's at least a starting caliber receiver on this team. We could also even invest in that elusiveness, which is pretty cheap for him. But let's get that hands into a better spot because he literally cannot catch the ball at all right now. What is he? He a 2-star player? No, he's a 3-star player. Just attributes not in a great spot, man. Continue the upgrades up to a 75. Now let's even go into elusiveness. Probably not going to affect his overall all too much, but the goal is to make him more well-rounded. And if we really want to boost his overall, we go down here to IQ and get that awareness up some. And that should start to boost his overall. And it's cheap. It's super cheap, man. It only costs 1 to 2 because he's in a really bad spot. Get him up to an 80 overall. And now we're looking at, a guy that went from a 65 to an 80 overall as, a sophomore. Unfortunately, the skill caps and speed is really not great. He's also 5'6". There's some interesting receiver builds in this game, man, I'm telling you. And I got Jerry that we upgraded last season. We could wait another year to upgrade him. Obviously he's a starting caliber guy, but if you upgrade him too much, well, he's going to go get drafted. So it's your decision. Like I said, I will upgrade him just to keep it more on the realistic side. But I understand if you don't upgrade him or maybe you focus on the blocking, that should affect his overall a little bit less rather than upgrading his IQ that is going to get his overall up to that spot where he's really going to be a drafted player. And let's continue to upgrade him. See if we get him to a 90. Yep, get him in the 90s. And we got 6 left. Let's go with the blocking one more time. Get him into a 91 overall. And now we're talking about a guy that's going to be, a top 3 round draft pick. But you don't have to go that route. Obviously, no abilities. And also the good part is, you could go the ability route if you want to maybe not focus on his overall, just upgrade the abilities. So it's 1,000 different ways to do it, man. Same idea with the O-line. You got a well-rounded here. He's a 52 overall. That's nuts. But yeah, same idea with the O-line with every single position. My goal is to make guys more well-rounded because guys seem to just be one-dimensional, man. I want guys that can be well-rounded. I want DNs that's, fast, strong, and also rush the passer and stop the run a little bit. I want well-rounded guys rather than a guy that could only stop the run, and that's the only thing he could ever do. But you have to figure out what works for your offense, man. So kind of just a deep dive for this auto or this manual progression. Like I said, I didn't cover the abilities too much, but feel free to tap into the abilities, upgrade them as needed. But that's all I got for y'all boys today, man. If y'all enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all boys, and we're on to the next one.